Ah, fuck. I'm thinking about what to say. Okay, today on the Odyssey, we are going to talk about the house on Mango Street and an album from Kanye West called Life of Pablo. We are also going to talk about our different experiences with dating apps. So, um, I'm your host, Vincent, and I'm joined here by my guests, Daniel and Jerry.
What's going on?
Jerry, say something.
I refuse.
Okay.
If- for those that are listening, Vincent was supposed to come to us with a new hentai review, and he did not watch any hentai to review.
Yeah, that's also another topic. You guys are gonna shit on me for fucking not bringing in a topic. But look at Jerry. The fuck did he bring? What the
You,
fuck did he
Jerry,
bring?
you came on and said you were going to watch hentai to review. All you
I
had a
got
week
sick.
to watch. You you
I
you had
can't
one
what
week to just watch one hentai or something to talk about. You couldn't even one video, Vincent.
I can't really get hard when it comes to like getting sick and stuff. Like a fever.
I'm not asking you to get hard. I'm asking you to watch a video,
How are you
and
gonna
you
t-
did
how are you
it.
gonna how are you gonna ask me that and then how am I like not gonna watch hentai without getting
Like,
hard,
you
dog?
did. Are you kidding me? I can watch porn without getting hard. Okay, it's not a necessity.
I brought a
Watching.
Look
topic.
at that. Oh, what's the topic? You got up with that like 5 minutes before we started recording. You wouldn't have had that if I hadn't asked you the question about Bumble anyway. So there.
That's Daniel's topic. You can't take it.
What did you bring?
For God's sake.
What was
Huh?
your topic,
Nothing.
Jerry?
Didn't have one.
This
Anyway,
isn't his podcast, Mister Hentai over here.
we haven't even uploaded the first episode.
That's fine. I mean, no one will watch it anyway.
You could claim, this is a new rule. You could claim the podcast if you do the intro. New rule.
Oh, you just all right? Fair enough. I guess the first podcast is mine,
Yeah,
technically.
yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
fair enough. All right.
Well,
Anyway, the house on Mango Street. What, Jerry?
nah, nothing. I'm just nigga claiming the podcast which we all worked on. Fuck up out of here.
Meanwhile, Jerry's just playing chess and like, oh, what are we talking about? Oh yeah, we're recording a podcast.
I be contributing. The hell?
All right, what do you guys? What would you like me to talk about first? The book or the? I'll talk about the
Okay.
book. For this episode, I read The House on Mango Street by Sandra Cisneros. This is the first book written by Sandra Cisneros, a Chicano writer. This one talks about the life of Esperanza. She is a 12-year-old girl growing up on her house on Mango Street. This happens to be the first house that her family has owned. Since then, she had moved apart from different complexes and different housing units. And it talks about her life living in the house within a year's time and growing up there, and her aspirations, the different people she meets, and all their adolescence.
Right.
Has anybody read it?
No.
I have. I
Cool,
did. I read it this week.
cool,
Also.
cool.
What the
Nice,
hell?
Jerry, nice.
No one
What
told
did
me
you
go
think
Mm-hmm.
of
ahead
the
and
book,
read it.
Jerry?
I
But,
didn't quite. I wasn't a fan.
hmm, okay, good, good. And
Yeah.
Vincent, yes, you didn't have to read the book, Vincent. He was just interested in reading
Yeah. I just figured if Daniel's gonna read it, might as well also give it a shot.
it. Yeah.
Right.
The book, for those that did not read it, the book is kind of presented in a series of vignettes, all of which dealing with different topics or themes. Some could be about different people she meets, sometimes at different locations or gardens. And the book itself is definitely written as though it is a first book or so, as there doesn't seem to be much quotation marks. But I found it to be very interesting. I've read that the book has been taught to both high schoolers and college students alike, and even some in grade school levels. I had actually read a part of the
Interesting.
book before. Yeah, a part of the book I had actually read in middle school, which I didn't realize until I got to it. The part where about the rice sandwich, where she asked her mother to make her a rice sandwich for lunch to eat with the other children at school. And I didn't realize how much influence this book had had, so I realized I'd read a lot of different vignettes in different classes throughout my school. Anyway, a lot of the book that resonated with me itself were just the different themes and just the different types of aspects of adolescence that I could, what is it? That I, what's the term? That sort of related to
Relate?
me. Yes, I could relate to a lot of that, especially the part where her grandmother passes away and she sees her father crying for the first time, and she has to reflect on what it would be like if she lost her father itself, and she cries too. Having to see the strongest man in her life kind of barreled over and crying on your
Right.
while sitting on your bed. It was kind of a powerful image for me because I remember I've also only ever seen my father cry once, and it was also at the death of my grandma.
So sad.
Yes, I think the book itself plays pretty well. I do enjoy the look of the book, how she happens to describe things. She uses a lot of similes to describe different things that she experiences, such as when she says she calls her name ugly, and when people say her name Esperanza, because a lot of her friends at school are Caucasian, they pronounce it. They say it's an ugly name, or it sounds kind of like it's like needles on their mouths. But in her language, Spanish, Esperanza is a beautiful name. And I thought a lot of readers could probably relate to that as well, especially a lot of young female readers who happen to have a lot of beautiful names they might carry, such as
These kids be
Guadalupe
so
or
mean. They're so mean.
yes, yes they are, Vincent
Oh, I'm already
and
sad.
Gloria. So, and I found the book. I just have to have enjoyed the book quite a lot. Mostly from the scope of Esperanza's lens, getting to see this young Chicano neighborhood, having to have the aspirations of wanting to leave your neighborhood and wishing for something more, but also not wanting to forget your roots. That's an overlapping theme about the story. She doesn't want. She wants to own a house of her own and be successful one day. But she also understands that she doesn't want to forget her roots and what she grew up in. And part of her is in Mingos. That's why she devoted the book to the house on Mingos. Yes. And you, Jerry, you said that you did not like the book. Would you care to give
Ah,
us your thoughts on the book?
what's your problem?
What the hell did you mean? What's my problem? I
I
said I
never.
wasn't a fan. I didn't.
I
I'm talking
I
to
mean, it
Vince,
Vince
sounds like a
here.
good book.
if Vincent said
I mean,
that.
what the
Vincent
hell?
said that, not me.
This poor girl
Mhm.
has aspirations, and Jerry's gonna be like, "Fuck them, fuck her
Well, to
ass."
start with, I said fuck you too, Vince. Anyways, well, I said I wasn't a fan. I never said I thought the book was bad. I mean, there's like a complete difference there. I
Yes.
just I didn't really care much for the book as a read for myself. I like it's not to my style. I don't particularly enjoy this because it sort of reads like poetry to me, which is
Mm,
here or there whether you enjoy it or not.
yes.
And I mean, it's quite nice for some people, but it's not up to my taste. The vignettes
Mm-hmm.
are all right. I did like the one that you mentioned. I do remember reading that one.
The
I
rice
think it
sandwich.
was okay. Yeah, the rice
Yeah,
sandwich one. Yeah, the rice sandwich one was pretty all right. But
yeah. I like that one.
aside from that, I mean, it's quite nice how she tells her story, but it's not the appeal's sort of not there for me. That's all. I mean, it's nothing crazy about it.
What
I
made
mean,
you
fair
want to
enough.
choose this book, Daniel?
Well, I'd heard about the book title for a long time. I mean, The House on Mango Street. It's supposed to be a very famous book that I had never read before. Sandra Cisneros is also a very famous author. She has to be of Chicano descent, and as Chicano myself, I thought I'd want to read one from a well-known author. And they say that this happens to be one of her best books, or it's her first book written. Like a lot of people consider it one of her best. Um, yeah, so that's why I chose it. And Jerry point is correct. I mean, it does sort of read like poetry in some parts, especially when she writes. She has a sort of pattern scheme, the way that she's in her writing, and she even often talks about writing, wanting to write poems in her work. So yes, it does read like poetry from time to time. Yes, it's a very good. Well, it, not to discredit Jerry, but yes, I think it is a good book. It's a
Ooh.
fairly simple read. It's a
I
fairly
don't know
simple
what.
He
read.
said you have shit taste.
I did not
Get
say
him,
that.
Daniel. No, Jerry
You
said
just
that.
said that, Vince.
Jerry said it. I read in between the lines.
If I thought the book was shit, I would have said it's shit. I'm not. What the hell?
if the book if the book truly was shit, I'd probably be more blatant about it. I'd probably just say this book was shit. But no, this book is not shit. I found it to be quite as considering it's about from the perspective of a 12-year-old girl. I found her the way she described things to be very appealing because there's almost sort of a it's very on the surface observation. She doesn't always understand what happens to be going on, like describing her friends such as Marin, who happens to be like a local attractive girl in the neighborhood, and she doesn't exactly know why these women do things they do, or she doesn't really understand certain. Yeah, she doesn't understand like certain qualities of people or why people can be dangerous. Like, oh, stay away from that guy. He grabs children. Like, she doesn't understand what that means. She doesn't understand exactly what it means to be an adult or difference. It deals with a lot of different themes, such as your own identity and trying to grow up as a woman and kind of the pressures that people put on you, especially like prank people. But that's what I found very interesting the most, that it was from her perspective as this 12-year-old girl and like the world surrounding her. Because for her, she's developing an age and the world probably seems scary and unused to her, you know? So that's what I liked about it the most. But, to each their own.
Okay.
Right, right.
Any other questions you had, Vincent?
What would you give it like out of 10?
Out of 10, last book I gave Waiting for Godot, I believe I gave that an 8.5 or an 8.6. This book I would give it around a 7.5, I think. In some parts I think it could have been stronger, maybe in the writing aspects. Sometimes some vignettes I will admit I didn't care for too much and I thought I could have enjoyed a little bit more insight into I like the vignettes that are about single characters and the places more than in some others where like she's focused a lot on Rachel and Lucy. I didn't care for some of those a bit much, but I'd say 7.5. Still like a fairly good read, one that I enjoyed. What do you give this
Nice,
book,
nice.
Terry?
Uh, I'll give it a solid 5.
Mm, okay.
Yeah,
He
to me
said,
the
"Fuck
books
this book."
the book well a 5 is just an average score. Like the books to me is just average. I don't quite like that's like it might be that I'm missing the appeal to it or there. I mean, to me, I don't. The book was. I wouldn't give it a reread. I I think I got
Okay.
enough from the first. Yeah,
All
I
right.
think
All
she.
right.
Yeah, I think she did all right. I'm not a big fan of the sort of like I know that's the style she was going for, but I don't particularly care for how she writes. I mean, it's good, but it is what it is. It's not something I enjoyed. But she had a story here or there that certainly shined through. The dad one was all right.
All right.
The heel one
Right.
was
Right.
okay, where she's wearing the heels, and
She's getting like the attention from the boys that she kind of that she wants, but
yeah,
then
yeah.
realizes she doesn't want. Yeah.
Well, it's like she has no at the time she has no idea what it means to wear the heels. Like she's just to them it's just something like grown up and mature, and
Yeah.
it makes you look better. But
Hmm.
clearly these are like some exaggerated heels, probably meant for like a stripper
Yeah.
or a prostitute, which is why she gets
Right.
the unsolicited from the men. Yeah,
Right.
so I mean, one or two stuck out. I mean, some of the other stories I didn't. It's hard to say, but
A
it,
solid
it's okay.
five.
It's an all right read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
solid 5, a solid average score.
I gotta
Cool.
I gotta start reading these books.
Get a list going.
I don't make it into a habit for me to read. I know I should.
Just start off with something like small, like a short book or like a play. Plays tend to be short.
Yeah.
You don't want to start off with something massive. Like let me read
I
War
I
and Peace.
I mean I used to read
Just
often, but not anymore.
Yeah,
just read like
it's like
just find
you
something you're interested in. I mean, who really or listen to audiobooks. I mean, they're basically books anyways.
Next time on the Odyssey, we read the Bible,
Are you kidding
the
me?
entire
No,
Bible.
I'm not reading
Average.
that within a week.
Average. We'll give it
I
an
like the
average review.
Quran better.
2 out of 10.
Average at best.
Like Jesus didn't have a redemption arc.
I'm waiting on the manga.
The manga. I'm sure it's done. I think I've seen a manga Bible at Barnes and Nobles.
I mean, possibly. I've seen like adventure, like action Bibles and comic book Bibles. Oh, I wouldn't, I would believe it.
Yeah, I'll give that book a read. You recommend it, Daniel?
I would recommend it. Sorry, I'm choking on water.
Oh God, someone help him!
The irony. The
Live death on
irony.
the podcast. Daniel's down.
Got
This
him.
is the last episode.
The last
I
episode.
mean, personally, I would recommend it, but it's a short read. Again, it's only around 100 pages long. A simple read. You might enjoy it. Sorry. Should
Okay,
we move on?
nice. Yeah,
Continue.
yeah.
You've heard the life of Pablo, correct, Jerry?
Correct.
Cool. I just got a little thing here. Before Jesus is
Hold
king,
on, pause
Kanye
for a
West
second.
ventured
I'm gonna close my window. There's fucking dogs and sirens. It sounds fucking crazy out there.
the host of the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Got him.
All right, we're good.
Yes, before Jesus is king, Kanye West ventured into secular music with the gospel-inspired The Life of Pablo, seventh studio album. Undergoing severe reiterations, The Life of Pablo sees Kanye West rapping about themes such as his faith in God, his success as a fashion mogul, past indiscretions, and self reflection. The album boasts an impressive number of guest features, including the likes of Rihanna, Frank Ocean, The Weeknd, and an incredible feature from Kendrick Lamar himself on No More Parties in LA. It also has incredible production from Mr. Rick Rubin, Metro Boomin, as well as Swizz Beatz. That's not to name the high list amount of guest features that I did not include. But the album itself boasts great production. You've got incredible flows. Kanye West has rapped some of his strongest rapping in his career. You got amusing interludes, and ultimately, it happens to be a strong album with multiple tracks after tracks of hits, including Feedback, No More Parties in LA, Highlights, Fuck My Life, Bad Friends, Fade, 30 Hours, St. Pablo. You want to chime in here, Jerry?
For what? The Life of
Well, for the
Pablo?
album. Well, yeah, the album.
My thoughts on the album or just
Yeah, just
information
what
about
did.
it?
Yeah, just just information about the album, or just your thoughts on the album.
Well, I don't have any. Well, you gave a good chunk of information on it, but my thoughts on the album. It was a pretty
Yes,
good album. Um, it's pretty good. It's a good album. I don't know how I'd compare it to the rest of Kanye's work.
okay.
Um, I would say, well, he's got so much good work. I think it's better than Yay, his other works. There's a few
Hmm.
good songs on it, but I don't know. It's a decent. It's not bad. It's not bad. I think he's done better.
I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of people call this one his like last great album because I believe after this he made Yay and I believe Jesus is King, correct?
Yeah.
if I remember, yes, his discography correctly. And I mean, this definitely was a new turn for him, as again, he kind of makes gospel music with also just rap himself. I kind of like to consider it more like the dichotomy of man because he sings a lot of praise for the Lord and having faith in God and trying to come back to Jesus
Nice.
and trying to raise his family. But he still boasts a lot, like such as on tracks such as got the name of the title, uh,
Famous.
Famous, yeah, where he talks the diss tracks about like Famous. He also talks about it on Facts, where he just this is Nike and he talks about his all of his success with his line of Yeezys and clothing merch, as well as on
Right.
as well as on. But he also talks about his highlights such as Wolves, where he fears about having to lose faith in like the woman he loves, or even on Fade about love fading. There's a lot. There seems to be like a lot of like. There's a lot of back and forth between trying to find faith and being trusting in God, but also there's still that Kanye, that largest ego in hip hop that abundant throughout the album.
I
That's
like
what I like
Kanye's
Certainly.
about it.
music. I like Kanye's
I'll
music.
I think people are wrong in saying it was his last great album cuz well, I mean, I don't like the songs are great, but I don't think they present anything new in terms of Kanye West. Like every other album before that is like the sound and what he raps about is like just completely like left field. Like before this, you had For the Life of Pablo was Jesus, which is like completely left field. You get me? Like when we
Yeah,
heard it, like the beats were completely different. He was rapping about
yes,
who
that one
knows
had
what.
right. He
Right,
was that was more for like a rock feel and stuff.
right, mixed with dubsteps
Right.
and like these hard instrumentals. But I mean, he still had like Blood on the Leaves, Hold My Liquor, New Slaves. Like he was still self-critical in the same way as he is in his other albums, and he's still flossing like he does in every other one.
Okay.
Before
All
that,
right.
yeah, before that, he did Cruel Summer, which was well, it was hardly just him, mind you. There's Watch the
Uh,
Throne, which was amazing.
all right.
And his last solo album before that was My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, which I would say blew everything else out of the fucking water he had made beforehand. So I don't think The Life of Pablo did anything new in terms of like Kanye's repertoire. He's had, choruses and all that and church gospel samples before. Um, I
That's
mean, it's a
true.
great
Yes.
album, but
Right. He has used a lot of secular music before, and I guess this is like the first time he tackled it full on in like an album form, sort of. Before he has like yeah, right, he has had references to like God and his faith throughout his like discography. True.
I don't listen to any
yeah,
music.
Uh,
I don't fucking read. I don't listen to anything.
uncultured swine,
It's true.
it's
When it comes to
you
music for me,
suck.
I like select songs. I don't listen to whole albums.
I mean sometimes an album can be like a lot to listen to. I will admit.
Now
Yeah.
it's like an hour. It's like what? It's like watching a movie. It's like an hour
I'm t-
long.
I'm I'm saying depending on the album, because sometimes if you're recommended the wrong album or an album that's not per your taste, you might not. It might
Yeah,
find it hard to sit through.
yeah, yeah. I mean, but, well, don't listen to it. Like if you don't like an album, you can stop listening to
Any
it. Like I'm
artist
not
I've
gonna.
listened to, I've never liked their entire album. I can never listen to a whole album. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just picky when it comes to music.
I think you're just impatient.
Impatient? How fucking dare you? What are you
Got him.
Maybe
saying?
I mean if you can, because even if your favorite artist, you can't listen to their full albums. I'm like, are you? I mean, mm,
There just be of like a song or two or three like that I just don't really like, and I'm like, I can't listen to this whole album. I need to be
Well, it's
very
like,
not
picky
like
of
I
you.
need to be like Dunkey. He
well,
edits his music.
well, it's not like anybody like you give a new album a listen. You get me? Like when you're just listening to music, you don't like. I don't go. Well, I'm about to play this whole album front to back. You skip around and everything. But you're telling me
I
when an
mean, yeah,
artist you
I
like
understand.
makes a new album, you don't give it a good listen? Just
No,
one?
no.
You suck.
I
You
think the
suck.
newest like Like maybe an album I listened to was probably like The Strokes. Like
their latest album.
You should have
I don't even know like the album names.
you should have a stroke. You suck.
I know, but I just don't listen to albums. I don't know why.
That's fine. I'm sure there's a good chunk of people that do the same. Just listen to singles that they enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Even
nothing
think
wrong
that's
with that.
true.
even when it comes to Spotify, like I'm like I don't look up artists. I just look up playlists of like
Man,
alternative, pop
the
punk.
playlists seem to be nicer, sort
Yeah.
of.
And
I
that way,
just chuck them
Playlist.
all.
what do you mean you chuck them all?
I just chuck them all into my liked songs, and I just play that. It's like a gargantuan, like 800 song playlist. Just all these genres, but I don't care.
I need to get more taste in
They,
music.
I
Nah.
don't know.
I have only
Eh,
12 liked songs on Spotify, and I've had Spotify for like over a year.
that's all you need. 12 songs.
And I do listen to Spotify too.
Those better
That's
be
all you
some good
need.
ass songs. What 12 songs are you listening to?
One of
I'm about to judge your taste.
well, what this song actually like it was from Taking Back Sunday, A Decade Under the Influence.
Never heard of it.
I don't know.
I liked let's see, the 24-hour drive through by Origami Angel. And these are actual songs I
Nope.
like. You in Weird Cities by Jeff Rosenstock. No, they're
Yeah,
all like alternative.
yeah, I don't. Well, yeah, well, I mean, listen, they could be good songs. I'm not gonna judge a person based off their music taste. I'm just gonna say that now, unless you listen to show tunes or something.
I
But
mean, I don't
I mean,
judge you. I don't judge you solely on your music, but it is a component.
Yeah, some people are really into music. I don't know, like I need to diverse my genre. Even when it
Who
comes to
cares,
like
man?
concerts and stuff, like I don't know, there's like bands that I don't really not too sure of, but I enjoy music.
Just enjoy
yeah, I
what
mean
you
that.
enjoy.
I enjoy
Yeah,
it.
You don't gotta.
I don't need to. You don't need to like diversify your.
The
If you
it's
like the
'cause
songs you like,
I
it's
don't
fine.
go in there, like I don't delve deep,
The
is
fuck
what I'm
does
trying
But
that
to
do you
mean?
really
say.
want to? Do you really want to become one of those music elitists who's like, oh yeah, you like Taking Back the Summer? Name 3 songs. Oh yeah, you did it. Do you really want to become one of those guys, Vincent? No,
No, I'm
come
not
on.
saying I don't want to be one
You
of those dickheads.
well, yeah, like there's nothing wrong with your music taste, Vincent. If you like the music you like, that's fine.
I that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I need to like be more open to what music I should listen to, I think.
You could. All right, fair enough.
Yeah. I'll give that one a listen to too. Just listening and reading shit after the podcast.
Sure, listen
You
to the Life of Pablo.
suck.
Personally, just final thoughts on Life of Pablo. I thought it was a strong album. I think what differentiates this one for me personally, I think it's the structure. It all flows together pretty well for me. It's got a strong intro, outro. Some of the interludes of me, there's a few songs I thought could have been done without. Maybe, like maybe "Fuck Life Up" wasn't that strong, or also I believe it's "Low Lights" or so. Some of them they kind of drag, but most of the songs I think hit one after another. They got a good blend of different production, enough rapping and singing both from Kanye, and the guest features are really strong from you know Kendrick to um, The Weeknd to Frank Ocean's intermission to Rihanna's. Like, there's a lot going on here, and the outro was great with Saint Paul. And so I think overall I enjoyed the album quite a lot. But as me,
Nice, nice, nice.
What do you
yeah,
take
Give it a
into
Gary.
rating.
consideration more? Like the beat, the artist, the lyrics? What is it
I
that
mean,
pulls
I
you in?
I think it depending on the genre, since this is I would say I'm a person who really likes lyrics, but I can also enjoy now. Let's say if I'm listening to rap, I really like listening to the lyrics. But if the production itself is just good, I don't mind too much if the lyrics are, let's say, very repetitive or if it happens to be like kind of not that creative. Like for instance, I really like Playboy Cardi's album Die Lit. Like, lyrically that's not he's not exactly all that strong, but that's a trap album. It's not meant to be like poetry, but it's got good production, it's got good flow, it's really catchy, and I can enjoy an album for that. Whereas if the production nor the lyrics nor the flow is good, I'm not gonna enjoy the album like at all. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So those are my thoughts. But I mean, I also listen to other genres like rock and some and a lot of pop music and stuff. What about you, Jerry? Just all liked songs?
Nah, I enjoy I enjoy a lot of new sounds. I'm not really like too much of everything sounds like repetitive. I dislike like I like to hear new sounds. Mind you, I'm only a fan of a couple of genres too, like hip hop. Um, I wouldn't really say pop, but it's like a subgenre of pop and some rock songs. But I enjoy the new. I'm tired of all this same goddamn sound. I also,
Uh,
yeah.
Fucking
Also,
hoes.
I mean, I judge there's a difference between how I judge whether a song is good and whether I like it. Um,
mhm,
I enjoy a song that makes me feel anything, a little emotion or something, or just enjoyment.
mhm,
Um,
right,
I dislike a lot of albums that sound similar, like
mhm.
just in how they play. Like, I disliked Tyler the Creator's recent album. I disliked,
Eeyore.
yeah, Igor can go fuck itself. Yeah, like the whole album just it was all sort of had like the
Awful.
same it
What?
had like the same mood for like every song. It was so
Yeah, I
like
think structurally the album itself is kind of it's a little it's a very what's the term? Not universal. It's a very um not the term fuck accessible album, but it's also kind of like in terms of his all of his other works, it's kind of like his most simple to date. It was more like a dream popish album, whereas his other albums they used to have like he used to rap like heavy beats. He had like great flow. He was telling like full length stories and shit, with each album where they were
well,
conceptual. But this one, like, it's conceptual, but it's also kind of a little too like simple.
I mean,
Uh,
I suppose I don't disagree with that, but my point is well that's a good point, but my point is it's when I listened to the album, like I couldn't at times I had a hard time distinguishing when the next song started. It just all sounded so it was also dull. It was like, all right,
I
well
think
this
it's
one sort of
yeah. They all kind
like
of sound similar.
yeah, they all sort of sounded similar. A lot of his old music had a variety of like sounds and what was being said. I can't like there's probably a story going on in Igor, but I can hardly fucking tell it. Like it's just so
Ever,
I couldn't yeah,
yeah.
I could barely get through it. It was like 40 minutes of sameness. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Let
You
this
just
end
I mean,
already.
reading.
there is a yeah. There is a story there. I mean, it's a heartbreak album, and once you really read into it or listen into it, like yeah, you can hear the story. But yeah, I think a lot of the end outro songs like "Gone, Gone, Thank You" and "Are We Still Friends" and a few others are just kind of dull for me. But there are some highlights I like. I like "What's Good" and other ones like "Puppet" and things like that. But it's also like, this is kind of like you put out much stronger work in the past, or at least and especially much more interesting albums too. Like I remember listening to Wolf, for instance,
Yeah.
and it's got so many different tones and themes throughout the album. Like he talks about being like this awkward kid, not knowing how to date a woman. He talks about like I fucking hate you or cowboy or that song about like two seater, like treehouse. had Colossus. You had the very sad outro about losing his grandmother. You know, you felt a lot through it. I thought I didn't get much from Eagle.
Frank Ocean's new album also had that same problem with me. Blonde. There's like a good.
Yeah.
There's like two. There's like the only songs I like are the ones that stand out, which are like Andre 3000's verse,
Hmm.
because it's like a respite. Like I don't want. Like it's like eating. It's like eating just soup. It's like soup's nice, but it's like it's all the same flavor. Give me something else.
Soup is not the same flavor. What are you talking
Ah,
about?
a
What kind of
bad
soup
Well,
are
soup
you?
is
What kind of soup are you eating?
he's
just
saying like if you're
broth.
eating, he's saying if you're eating a bowl of soup, you kind of get the same flavor from a bowl of soup.
Within
I
one
think
bowl of
that's what he's
soup,
saying.
maybe,
Yeah.
unless you're not putting shit in it.
It's I've had some shitty soup. All right, that's all
Damn.
I'm saying.
Never. That's an interesting. That's quite an analogy. You know, Frank Ocean's album comparing it to soup. But all right,
Calling you out,
I,
Calling him out.
I'm calling you out, Frank Ocean.
Get him on here on this fucking podcast.
If
It's been
any,
ages since I listened to Blonde.
I've told
if
Jerry
any,
before that I feel like my sense of like taste in music is really off because back in the day I used to play a lot of Team Fortress 2 and all they
Hmm.
did was just fucking ear rape the mic. So there would just be a bunch of mic spam. And then they would just play
Mm.
random music and I would never mute them. And I would play the game with that music. And it would just be a bunch of like weird stuff. And I like it.
Okay, that's interesting. And one of these days, you could talk about the your music taste on the show. You know,
I'll get my good songs out.
there you go, there you go.
There's a song
And
that I
this time,
like from
do
the
it.
Westboro Baptist Church. They did a remix on it. I'm like, this is sound pretty good.
Oh my god.
that's funny.
My sense of taste is just crazy. But I listen to alternative if I had to pick one, I guess, that I listen to the most.
He's definitely Vincent is definitely an individual with like there's no one to like him. He's akin to just like yeah, that's Vincent in terms of personality and himself. It's like he's a character. Homie.
I'm gonna call people normies and stuff. If they name any artist, I'm like, you're a normie. I listen to fucking this YouTuber, I don't know. That just does a bunch of mic spam. I can't put that on my Bumble. Like you could link your
You listen.
Spotify to your Bumble. I'm not gonna connect my Spotify. They'll be like they only listen to one song.
No,
You could
you can
put
ask
your
him to exchange. Yeah,
You can put your what?
what are you saying?
I don't know. I was just gonna say you could put like just one song. Who cares? Just put one anthem. That's all you need.
I think it takes your top 10 liked songs or something like that, and it displays them on your profile. You can't be too creative about what you pick.
Ah, yeah, I
That's
get you. I
all.
get you.
Yeah, but
That's
yeah,
all you need. Just put one song.
only one song, The Pledge of Allegiance.
Mm,
That's what I listen
that's
to.
perfect.
Yeah, speaking of these dating apps, they're shit. I hate them. I got like no
Not a fan of the
matches.
dating app. He's not a fan of the dating apps, folks.
I mean, they're
And that's
okay,
it.
but I don't know.
No,
I
they're
I just have
not.
like one picture, so I'm not like getting too many matches.
I mean, I've had varying success with different apps, but I will say that Tinder was I've had like the worst luck on there. Like either a lot of spam bots or people that didn't know how to have a conversation or just shitty profiles to read. Work on your profiles, people. Some of these they stink. What are some
Why?
bad profiles you guys have read?
Mine's pretty bad. Mine's about
Every,
mine's about water.
every, every single female profile I've read is awful. There, I said it. Y'all suck,
Did
Ooh,
ladies.
calling you out, ladies. Get them on the podcast. We calling them out.
Get on the get on the
I
podcast, ladies.
read some that were just fine, or just like, all right, this is real. Like mine profiles have been bad. I'm like, all right, these are. I've read a few. They're just dumb. Usually just a few like, don't be boring, or like, oh, when they
Mm-hmm.
say something like, um, oh, I read one a long time ago. It said like, oh, buy me In and Out and take me to Hamilton, like the stage production. Like,
Not even
bitch,
subtle. That
I know,
they
like, bitch, like you
foodies.
think if I had fucking money for Hamilton, I'd take my mother or something. I wouldn't take some Tinder hoe. Come on,
Maybe McDonald's.
take a woman out to In and Out, but like fucking the one of the Broadway production show, like,
McDonald's
get
and
out of
only
here.
dollar menu.
I'm not taking out these women to eat. What the hell? Give her a free meal. She can go fuck off.
My like on Bumble, you could have these little prompts that you just write, and mine say, "I'm hoping you drink water. Favorite quality in a person is hydration." And if I had three wishes, I wish for Dasani, Fiji, and Aquafina.
Those Fiji's good water. The Sani and Aquafina, fuck that.
What do you mean? The Dasani's pretty
Those
good.
the Sani, what? Man,
Aquafina's pretty good. There's no bad water.
there is bad water. You just named two.
Oh, maybe like Crystal Geyser or something.
Yeah, Crystal Guys is not bad.
It's pretty bad.
I find it better than like the Sani.
Arrowhead sucks.
Arrowhead. Arrowhead tastes like the yeah, came straight from the tap.
Yup.
Arrowhead. Okay,
Mm-mm.
which one's Crystal Geyser? I'm trying to look it up.
It's like
Crystal Geyser.
it's like a kind of red bottle, I guess. Picture of mountains. That's like every bottle though. They have a picture of
I don't remember.
mountains. I'm
I
I'm
like the
I'm
Kirkland
swiping right
signature
now.
brand of water. Oh,
Let's look
Crystal
at a
Geyser,
profile.
yeah.
Let's
Cool.
shame them.
Pull one up.
We
Look
got
at this
Sophia.
normie.
I just found out
Hmm.
that using emojis means you're old. Two truths and a lie. I got shingles at 21, lived in New York, never had fake nails. My personal hell is Disneyland. I promise I love to have fun, but amusement parks are not for me. Giving her a like.
Yeah, she seems all right.
You.
I
It seems.
I just like
No,
every
she
What's
profile.
wrong
doesn't.
with it, Jerry?
I like every profile.
Hold on. What are Jerry? Why should he have not
Ah.
liked?
Ah.
Go ahead.
Ah. I don't even remember the profile. That's how
Gee,
bad it was.
shut up. I thought it
How.
was. I thought the
I
shingles at 21 part gave me a laugh.
I never went on a date with any of these women on dating apps. I had Tinder before and then I went to Bumble and then no dates so far though.
How is she looking? She looking all right?
I didn't even look at her face to be honest. I just gave her a swipe, a yes.
Just swiping.
All right. Well, you're
Nah.
doing. Well, you got to at least look at the thing. You'll probably have to blur out her name so she doesn't fucking when there's ghosts on the air.
No, I can't bring it back.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
it sucks because I feel like I'm not a good texter, so I can't like I don't know make my way.
Nobody is.
No, I mean, I got better at texting.
Texting sucks.
I mean, it's just a matter of like texting is pretty easy once you just gotta kind of keep the conversation going.
How many dates have
You
you
gotta
landed
like
on Bumble or Tinder on dating apps, Daniel?
like a handful, like not that many.
Nice,
No
nice.
lasting, no lasting relationships, mind you. But I think that was more based off of me. That was more just like I think now, if I want a relationship, I know what my strengths and weaknesses are.
Yeah.
Um, but I have been able to land a couple dates, and that's just from me learning and figuring out stuff and actually getting good at texting. Like now, I can text a chick just fine.
What do
Like
you
all right,
say? Hey, Mamacita, how's your
when
day
I
going?
first no, when I first I should just say like, hey, well, like, if I usually just say like, hey, yeah, if we match up, please. So like, hey, insert name here, and maybe mention something about their profile, like, hey, yada yada, insert name here. Oh, I listened to the last podcast on the left too. That's cool. Like, what's your favorite episode?
You better
And
be
then she'll say
promoting our
something.
podcast, Daniel.
I'm not.
That's
Yeah,
right.
The
that'll
best
guarantee an unmatched.
podcast is the Odyssey.
That'll
You
guarantee
listen
an
to it.
unmatched right away. Like fuck.
She probably
They fucking
she
listen to
probably
it and hear me talking about hentai and shit.
she probably wasn't funny anyways, Daniel. Just tell her about the podcast.
Fuck's sake. Just plug the show. Like, yeah, it's me from the Odyssey. Yeah, I know. Like a lady. Yeah,
That's
I know you
funny.
probably recognize
What do you tell the ladies? What's up, boners?
me. What up, boner? What's up? Tell me about yourself. What up, boner? That's just the profile.
Damn.
What's up, boners? It works every time, Vincent. It works every time. Like, what's up, boners?
I
Got you some flowers.
I'm gonna switch to just talking shit on the app. See if I
Not
find
even
them.
Okay,
trying.
you heard it here
To be
first,
honest, I'm
folks.
not
Vincent's
trying.
gonna.
I'm not trying.
I mean, sure, why not?
And I'm like,
You
why
heard it
don't
here
I have
first, folks.
matches?
These dumb bitches, they don't fucking bitches. just bitches just getting
That's
all
what my
mad.
profile says. I need to land me a
But
date. See
those,
what goes on
yeah,
there.
work on those prompts, Vincent. Come on, just water. Or I don't know, upload like a
Don't
funny.
you want a female to drink water?
Yes, I want a female to drink water, but my whole profile's not about water. Are you a
That's
water
like a hun.
salesman, fucker?
Got him. Been shilling water, huh?
Why don't you post that on your make that on your profile? Be like, I host a podcast, a podcast host or something.
I'm gonna start promoting it.
Why not? I mean, if anything, they might find that interesting. She'll be like, "Oh, that's
You
cool.
could
He
do
has a
something
podcast."
called Bumble BFF, and I think it hooks you up with dudes, just to hang out. Nothing crazy.
Mm, I don't know.
Something you
I
want to
like
tell us, Vince?
I'm make some Bumble BFFs. They're gonna be my friends.
BF
I'm getting them on the
BFF
podcast.
No, you're
stands
not.
for
Yes, I am.
it stands for butt friends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it sounds awful, Danny.
I mean, I don't. Like, I'm fine with if the lads is enough. I'm saying I'm
Aren't
just
we
like,
BFFs, guys?
That always gets to me. Like, who are these people that don't have friends? Like, what the hell happened in your life? Why don't you have friends at your age? Like, I always see women on their profiles looking for friends, and I'm like, you're 28. How do you not have one friend?
Sorry to break it
What
to
the
you, Jerry. They're bullshitting.
these
It has nothing to do with making friends.
bitches is
I
looking
think
for
they just.
friends,
Well, I think they
making
just
me
mean they.
sick.
Now I'm saying, yeah, they just looking for friends because they're probably just sick and tired of like. Because I'm sure, like, yeah, women have a lot of friends. I'm sure she's just like, I'm just looking for a
I
friend because
don't.
you just
I
want
don't
somebody else.
think. I disagree. I don't think these ladies have friends because I've seen some of them actually look for female friends too. They're like, if you're a male, I'm
Hmm.
looking for dates. If you're a female, swipe right. I need friends. It's not just fucking, you know, crazy talk. Like
Well,
these
a
people.
lot of some people are like really introverted. You know what I'm saying? Like never leave the house, like just school or work, and then
I
that's
wonder
it.
why
Like
they don't
some
have
people like
friends.
really, yeah, yeah. I'll admit I don't know how it happens. Like some people have like really bad social skills, or just need to work on it, or know that making friends ain't that hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not that hard. I don't know. Weirdos.
It's easier to if you got like a social media, because then if like let's say you're friends with like a classmate or a coworker, you just that's like an in. It's like, oh, I got social media too. Let's follow each other, and then you guys go from there. It's like, oh, now we're kind of like colleagues and then friends. You know what I'm saying?
No,
It's
I
kind of like
don't,
why
man.
social media. Like what I'm saying is this: like, let's say a girl has no friends, right? You follow
Yes.
so far? And
Yeah.
that girl,
No.
but she,
Why don't she got
I'm lost.
friends? What's
All right,
happening
okay,
here?
all
She
right,
got no
okay,
friends.
okay. I'll go even
Nobody likes you,
further.
Cindy. Get out of here.
And go even, all right, we got a name,
Women
Cindy.
women
We'll
don't
go
don't
further
have
from that.
friends. We calling you out. Come to the podcast.
Yeah.
Women
All right,
suck. Fix
that's
yourselves.
I never said that. The what I'm saying. Okay, I'll give you an example. Let's say Cindy, because Vincent said Cindy. Cindy, she's got no friends. She's pretty introverted, kind of like social skills, a little shy, and she's got no friends. But she goes to school, and she's got a social media, and she's like, oh, I kind of post shit on there from time to time. So she's sitting in class, she's talking to people about an assignment, and she's just like, oh, you guys are on Instagram too? Oh, cool. We can follow each other, and they follow each other. And it's like now she's got an in. It's like, okay, cool. I'm kind of like, it's not like I'm kind of can talk to people without having to talk to people in real life because I'm nervous or I lack the social
Women
skills.
Why did you
suck.
explain the process of making friends? Why did you explain the
Be-
process? Like we already know,
be-
Daniel. What are you talking
when
about,
you
man?
asked me to you asked me to explain, Jerry.
No, I asked you to explain why women don't have friends.
Oh, you didn't. I thought you meant the other thing because you said because social media is an in, and you said like, oh, explain. I didn't know you meant explain why women don't have. I explained that too, you fucker.
Daniel, they can't all be introverts. If they were that introverted, they wouldn't have made a Tinder.
It, no, that kind of stands to reason because
I'm
they
inviting
would
somebody from Bumble to the podcast.
if they would make a Tinder because they're introverted, Jerry, because they're like, I'm bad at making friends. I don't have friends in real life. I'm bad at making friends. So I'll make a Tinder because that's the way I can talk to more people from the safety of my phone. That makes sense, Jerry.
No, it doesn't. That makes it's less rational because there's so many more people online. You would have to you'd have to take pictures, which you're already an introvert, so you don't really take any. You'd have to then write your profile, swipe right, and message them online. It's just
Yeah.
almost the exact same amount of work. It's not no,
But
it doesn't. It doesn't make any more
but a
sense.
lot no, it makes sense because people spend all their time on their phone. So she's always spending all her time on her phone because she doesn't talk to people. So she figures, okay, I might as well talk to people over the phone. And it's fine because I can just talk to someone over the phone and there's no worry. There's less panic involved because you're not like, oh man, I have to talk to someone in person. Oh geez, anxiety's
Okay,
kicking in. It's just like,
let's say I agree.
okay,
Let's say I
all
agree.
right,
Every
okay.
single woman had the exact same thought, like all of them. Like it ain't like I'm
What
saying one profile. Like there's a good like every other profile on Tinder. It's like I'm looking for fucking friends.
I I I disagree. I don't think it's every other profile says like I'm looking for friends. I feel like it's
Yeah,
more. I feel like
all the other ones
eh,
say no hookups.
okay, some say no hookups, yes, but some I'd say it's like less than every other one. I think it's like every now and then I see profiles say like looking for friends, but I want to say it's less common than you were saying. I like to make that
Maybe, maybe could be
point.
the
But
case.
Interesting thoughts,
now,
interesting thoughts. We're
in
approaching an
terms of
hour
why
already. We gotta end it soon because we I know Daniel could shit on women all day.
I am
Mhm.
not shitting on women. I'm trying to explain. I'm just trying to give explanations here. I'm using logic and facts,
All right, all
and
right.
I'm trying to rationalize my thoughts into why women don't have friends. At least the best I can. But
I,
there could be
I
more to this
honestly don't
subject.
even get it. I don't get it why they put that shit on the fucking profile. I don't even know why they're there.
He's talking about women. Like, why are women on this app? Where are all the men?
Where's all the men? Put me to the men's section.
Also,
They
women,
Vincent,
no,
they're probably
we don't
more
want to be
interesting than men,
Vin,
dude.
friends.
Vincent Gay confirmed.
Called it.
All
All right. We're
right,
ending the podcast. We ending it. We ending it. Any final thoughts? Any call outs?
Jerry.
Calling out Frank Ocean, your album sucked. Calling out Tyler the Creator, your album sucked. Calling out women. We don't want to be friends with y'all on these dating apps. We're trying to date. Get on the
Okay, fair,
podcast.
fair enough, fair enough. That's true, ladies. If you're on a dating app, well, you should be looking to date.
We called
All
him
we're
out.
saying, we're not saying we don't hate women. Jerry might.
Nah. Some.
Okay, he doesn't. Okay.